and finally saw through Jabba and completely cut her off. Good job. You've just taken the first step to winning your balls back.
Ah! How did these get up here?
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we are diving back into r/NeckbeardStories. Yeah, you know what it do. We had a little bit of unfortunately. I don't actually know when that's going to come out. If it came out yesterday or if it's going to come out tomorrow. One of those. I'm not sure of the order of things quite yet until it gets uploaded and whatnot. But that unfortunately episode was heavy, as most of them are, but it always just seems to take it out of me, man. So I need a bit of a refresher. I need to wash myself clean with a bit of hopefully wholesome content. So today we are going to be wrapping up that Reforming a Neckbeard series. This is part number 5. There have been 5 parts previously, because one of those was like parts 4.5. Which is good, you know? It's a ReddX exclusive. We got the scoop on that one. So big shout out to user Random Teacher. A Random Teacher? That's what it is. You got to be very precise when you're typing usernames on the internet. So hopefully we can get some good vibes, some nice feels flowing today, maybe even more so than usual. So we're going to go ahead, get the plugs and disclaimers out of the way regardless, just to protect ourselves. And then we will dive right into some of this Neckbeard Stories cringe. My Journey to Reform a Neckbeard Part 5. Return of Karma. Karma? Never heard of her. So, I know I said the next part of the story would be me getting them back into the dating world, but that part really just sounds extremely fake. And the part that he's talking about is the 4.5 part that we read in the previous episode. Honestly, doesn't read as all that fake to me. A lot of times reality is stranger than fiction, so, I mean, I just let it roll off my back. If you said it happened, then alright, I guess it happened. Maybe embellished, whatever, but it probably did happen. Like, as I went through trying to recount some of these events, they honestly just seemed like textbook neckbeard memes. Those are the best. They were just so outlandish that there's honestly no way that anyone could believe it. Hell, I don't even believe it, and I was there. But if you want to hear it, just let me know, and I will post it regardless. And it has been posted, and luckily we did all of this in order. It's big brain time. I guess that makes the intro for part 5 kind of confusing, but it is what it is. We're just gonna roll with it. That's fine. But today, we dive into the downfall of Jabba and some sweet, sweet retribution. Yes, beard tribution. But first, since so much has changed since the first story, I feel like a new cast list is in order, so here it goes. Me, that's OP, aka Teach, a math major who had renounced my life as a boy. Slightly overweight, but still super into lifting weights. I like how you just dropped that one in there. I don't know about math nerds being all that popular with the ladies, but like I said, if you said it happened, I guess it happened. Or probably slightly embellished. But either way, it doesn't seem to have much consequence in the actual stories, so we just go slide past that one. We've also got Ed, of course, the former neckbeard in question, no longer has the neckbeard voice. He is a man who was finally able to accept himself and learn to love himself and his new boyfriend, whom I will introduce later in the story. And we might have met him in the last part as well, dressed up in a Sailor Moon cosplay. James is Ed's father, and a man who was lacking a spine. He was a sweet man who was being controlled by a shrill and evil little troll. That's right, the one and only beard left in this story, that is Jabba. Yeah, that is the shrill evil troll aforementioned. I could go on, but just read the last story. Or you can listen to it read to perfection by the amazing Moon Horse at the following link. His videos are amazing. I love them all. Yeah, Moon Horse is a pretty cool guy. He goes to space and doesn't afraid of anything. We've also got Ed's grandmother, my personal favorite of the saga, really. She's a loving, old-school black grandma who had nothing but love and pride for the amazing man who was her grandson. Her personality is that of every loving black in every black movie ever. Every loving black? Oh boy, did we miss a word there? But regardless, yeah, her language was that of a drunken sailor. This made for some very interesting conversations and some super funny lines like, "If we went to hell for sucking pecker, your mama would have the first ticket there." Head of the line, she got that fast pass in place. Bolt the kitty is a black and white cat that Ed and James took out of the pit that they used to call home, full of energy and loves them both more than anything. Honestly, probably my second favorite character in the saga, just on principle. You gotta love the furry ones. So let us begin in the fall of 2019. Ed and I were both on our final year of college, and as such, had a pretty easy class load. Sweet! This allowed us to spend a lot of time doing other things that we enjoyed. And sadly, it also included doing our best to keep James away from Jabba. Doesn't he have a new girlfriend at this point? Hasn't he moved on? Why you want to go back? She was doing her best to claw her slimy ass back into his life by any means necessary, so this left me and Ed as his honor guard. At first, it was normal stuff like blowing up his phone and asking to talk, saying things like, "My love for you was always real," and "I've made you the person you are today, so you need me." And that always begs the question, do you love me because you need me, or do you need me because you love me? Pick the answer very carefully. Consider what you are about to say, because no matter what the answer is, I ain't coming back, but I did just want to know though. Now, obviously, he considered it, but after a while, he got sick of all that BS and finally saw through Jabba and completely cut her off. Good job. You've just taken the first step to winning your balls back.
How did these get up here?
She then tried that classic, "You're nothing without me," and James then went off on her. It was at this moment that he finally grew a spine and just completely let her have it about everything. From how she treated him to how she smelled and dressed. Oh, that's hitting a woman where it hurts, honestly. Telling a woman that they're ugly and they smell? That cuts deep, man. Almost as deep as telling a man that he got a small wang or whatever. Which I guess is a simpler insult. Maybe men are more sensitive after all. But I digress. James also threw in that he regretted wasting all of those years on her, and all the cheating and the lies and so much more. At least 15 minutes straight of pure anger directed at Jabba. And she deserved every sentence, I guarantee. She honestly looked scared, as though James was about to hit her. I honestly wish he would've, because Lord knows I wanted to. But then he pulled out the real dagger. "James, I'm gonna say a prayer for you, but I'm not even sure that God has any mercy for a manipulative, hateful little devil. Go to hell." Oh boy, that got spicy pretty quick, didn't it? Jesus, dude. I hope that she just gets completely wrecked. I would love to see her crumble, her entire life just fall apart from this tongue lashing that she was issued from this man that supposedly she loved, but she just constantly took advantage of until he finally said, "Enough's enough." And I assumed that this conversation was happening on the phone, but given the fact that he could reach out and punch her, I guess not, decided to meet up with her for some reason and let her have it face to face, which is a really awesome thing to do, instead of just texting her a giant wall of text that details everything that's wrong with her. To hear it from the lips of the man you used to love. Ooh, that is harsh. But again, nothing but what she deserves. So Jabba just left quietly, and I wish that I could say that that was the end of it all. But if it was, then we wouldn't have the rest of this story, now would we? So this is when the little schemes begin. First, she tried to claim that Bolt was one of her cats that James had stolen. Yeah, anything to stay in his life at this point, I think. Honestly, I revel in it. It's so pathetic. It really demonstrates her character 100%. Jabba would always come around her own parents' house, trying to catch Bolt on the porch and take him away, but Bolt was so quick, and Jabba was so not, that that plan never worked out. But there was one time that she did manage to catch Bolt and try to run, or in her case, speed waddle, all the way back to her house. She probably had to stop for breath a couple times. Ed and James both saw this and tried to run after her, but then Bolt managed to break free, scratch her eyes, and jump out of her arms and back into Ed's. Cat scratch fever. The Legbeard is on the receiving end this time around, which makes it different from Georgia Beard, and I kind of like that better. The scratch was kind of serious and caused her to need an eye patch for a while. Fat pirate. Oh, Lord. At least that cat knows what's what. He's like, you're not my owner. I have to go back home. Boom. Swipe to the eyes. The eyes, bro. God. Cats are scary sometimes. Next, we get into Jabba's problems with Ed's new boyfriend. The best way that I can describe him would be Boy George. Extremely flamboyant and outspoken. Lover of all things nerdy. Hater of all things judgmental. And he was also a Christian. And if we're comparing him to Boy George, he could probably sing. Boy George got some pipes, man. We will name him Leia, and you'll see why in a second. Jabba had zero tolerance for anything gay, and made this 100% known, even though her opinion doesn't matter anymore. Nobody cares, just go die in your house alone. Leia was a really sweet guy, and tried to convince him to bury the hatchet with his mother, as he also had problems with his parents accepting him, but eventually they came around, and he thought that Jabba would too. Oh no, you don't know the vitriol of a Legbeard on the warpath. This was born out of only the best of intentions, but as Leia did not know the full story and relationship between Ed and Jabba, it was something that he couldn't account for. Wait, is he named Leia because Jabba's gonna capture him at some point and put him in a little slave outfit? I remember that from Star Wars. I'm connecting the dots now. Is that some foreshadowing or just complete coincidence? I'm curious now. But anyways, the three of us head over to Jabba's pit of a house, and it somehow looks even worse. We could smell the place from all the way outside. All the normal smells of cat crap and piss and trash, but this time with the smell of dead cats and cigarette smoke heavily mixed in. Oh God, those poor cats. Jesus. First steps into the house, and the sight was too much for Leia to withstand, and he legitimately threw up. He then said, "This is how she lives? How can anyone live like this?" Welcome to a beard nest. This is why I can't go around looking at pictures and stuff. It gets me. Rotting food and bad dental hygiene are the two things that just really hurt me more than anything else in these stories. OP, man, you should have seen his room back in college. Leia, really? It was this bad? Ed, well, yeah, but you see it now. OP, believe me, this guy is not the same as he was back then. I got plenty of stories about this one. Bro, don't put your friend on blast in front of his boyfriend. What's going on here? You trying to make moves on the boyfriend, OP? Chill it out. We don't need to embarrass our friends, damn it. That's a role that's reserved for like good mothers and grandmothers, embarrassing you in front of your girlfriend, but not bros. Come on, be a bro. Of course, Leia's excited about the prospect of learning about Ed's past, and he says, "Tell me all of them." We then all start cracking jokes and laughing before Jabba finally emerges from the pit. Jabba,
"What do you want?"
Leia, "Hello, I'm Leia. I'm your son's new boyfriend. I was hoping that we could talk," and Jabba cut him off.
"Son, why did you bring another one of these gays to talk to me?"
Leia, what did you just... Oh boy, here comes the fireworks. And the possible enslavement, if we're sticking with the naming conventions. That's probably not very PC to say. Ed just pulls him away before he does anything that would get him in trouble with the law. Leia is obviously furious and walks back up to Jabba and tears into her with a fire that I had never seen before. The insults were flying so fast, it was crazy. And Jabba tried her usual,
"You'll burn in hell, you dirty..."
but that just made it even worse. A good 5 minutes of this, and Jabba ran back into the house, crying. Oh yeah, you pierced that armor for sure. She might have been yelling, but she definitely heard what you said, if you cut her that deep. Good, I'm glad to hear it. She deserves nothing. Leia had just slain this mighty beast, and it was certain that she would never be seen again. But now we would get into the biggest retribution. Okay, so it seems like it didn't work out the way that I expected it to at all, but then I recalled that Leia did end up killing Jabba the Hutt in, I think it was Return of the Jedi, so maybe the naming convention does fit after all. I didn't see it coming at all, but I mean, props to Leia for getting this thing handled. And I do mean this thing, like the situation, but also Jabba herself. And yeah, I guess she will be seen again because the story continues on. So first off, it needs to be stated that Jabba did not have a good relationship with her mother anymore, i.e. Ed's grandmother. She'd been sending very angry texts to all of them, laced with all types of profanity and hate. This made her grandma cry at how she had failed at raising her and how terrible she had turned out. Jabba was truly beyond help. I mean, as we saw from Wheezybeard's mom, it doesn't really matter how good or put together the grandma is. Sometimes beards just are beards deep down in their core. Every parent makes mistakes. Yes, it's true. But every child also makes mistakes. And to sit there and beat yourself up about them when you legitimately tried your best, I don't think there's any purpose to that. I have no doubts that Grandma did her best, and you really can't save somebody from themselves. So, again, don't beat yourself up. Also, a sad piece of information, this was also around the time that Ed's grandfather lost his life due to a heart attack. Oof, heavy. She refused to come to the service because, embrace yourself, because I swear to you these are her exact words,
"She didn't want to be near that gay son of hers, and the dad who had abandoned God and sided with a sinner destined for hell."
You really think that God is gonna be okay with this, you persecuting all your loved ones? You should read the New Testament. It's all about forgiveness and love, not this Old Testament smiting that she seems so obsessed with. Jesus. So yeah, Jabba burned all her bridges and truly was left alone. Now, my friends, back to the downfall. So, what do you get when you combine cigarettes with a pile of clothes and a lot of trash and papers everywhere? You get exactly what you deserve. Boom! This is a Joker meme. You shot the dude in the face, right?
Skip it up and that up.
No, not a gunshot in the face. Instead, you get a glorious fire hazard. as most hoarder houses are. It's just a death trap in there. Aside from all the mold and decaying things, you could get trapped under a pile of trash, which has happened. If the house catches on fire a little bit, yeah, everything is gonna go up in smoke in no time at all, because there's just so much fuel laying around. So now I suppose Jabba gets to exist in a hell of her very own making. It's really fitting if you think about it. So yeah, Jabba was smoking one night and didn't properly put out her cigarette before throwing it away. This caused the trash can to set on fire, which caused the piles of trash and clothes by the trash can to catch fire, which then set the entire house on fire. Somehow, she managed to get out before everything burned down, and without any injury to herself at that. Yeah, she's got the devil on her side or something like that. You'd think at least smoke inhalation or something. But she had to watch as everything she owned burned to the ground before her very eyes. God, it's so poetic, isn't it? This is justice. Oh my God. By the time the fire department got there, the house was ready to collapse and everything inside was burned. At first, she was excited because
insurance would pay for everything,
and
she would be in a better house than ever before.
And yeah, she could probably destroy it just the same. But when she called the company about a claim, well, turns out she didn't even have the policy anymore. Congratulations, you played yourself. Because James was paying the bill. And naturally, since he left her by her lonesome and the policy lapsed about 6 weeks ago, she was left with nothing. No clothes, no food, no money, no cats, no friends, no family, no home. It seems harsh, but yeah, I'm sticking with it. I give her no sympathy. She made this happen. Karma, Jesus, Shiva, NASDAQ can be a really cruel bitch. And it looks like now your chickens are coming home to roost. I mean, what can I say about it? She had truly lost everything and came crawling back to her mother's house because she truly had nowhere else to go. But after the events of the funeral and everything else, the loving Christian woman had finally snapped. Grandma, imagine this being said in the old school black grandma voice, but I'm just gonna use the old people voice. How dare you bring your old nasty ass over here? You don't know how much your daddy cried at night about you turning out this way. And now you have the nerve to show your face here after everything you've put so many people through. Jabba,
how can you let your own daughter sleep in the streets? God wouldn't like you turning your back on someone.
The irony. It's so rich and creamy and delicious.
Nice.
You could feast on it. Just take a big bite out of that irony. How does that taste? Like heaven? Grandma started crying at this point and just told Jabba to leave. Jabba protested and barged into the house and tried to sit down, but all three of us, Ed, Leia, and myself, were in the living room watching this. So I body block, and she kicks me right in the dick. Oh yeah. Leia sees this and screams at her to get the hell out. Jabba tries to speak to James by saying,
honey, I know you won't leave me with nowhere to go.
Ed, Mom, you need to leave. No one wants you here. Jabba,
shut up, you useless gaylord. You have no right to speak to me.
Ed finally loses it and pushes Jabba to the front door. Even in her most desperate moment, she can't just act contrite for the sake of somewhere to stay. She sticks to her guns 100%, which normally I would respect, but you're doing it out of like this vitriol. I don't understand. For your own flesh and blood. Why is it such a big deal? She obviously understands what God would actually want because she tried to play that card on her mother, but she just can't seem to play it on herself. Ugh, so enraging. But yes, good. Ed finally loses it, pushes Jabba to the front door. Jabba,
How dare you put your hands on me? I'm your mother.
Ed, then why don't you ever act like it? Jabba slaps Ed, and this is where Leia finally steps up again. Leia, leave now, or I will beat the shit out of you. Jabba,
Shut up, gay. I know you can't put your hands on me.
you know that I can't put my hands on you. Well, this is a little thing called fuck around and find out, isn't it? And surely Jabba did. Leia loses it and begins to beat the living hell out of Jabba. This lasts for a little while, but boy, it was satisfying to watch. Blows being thrown, Jabba crying to
Stop! You can't hit a woman.
but Leia persisted with the glorious beating. It ended with him choking Jabba from behind in a headlock. If you get the reference by now, then props. Yeah, that's what happens in Return of the Jedi. Leia chokes Jabba. Okay, I got it. I did get the reference. Eventually, James pulled him apart, and Jabba ran out of the house and called the police. It took about 25 minutes for the police to get there, but since technically Jabba was a trespasser, the use of force was justified for her removal from the property. Well, yeah, gender doesn't come into that at all, does it? The law is clear. I'm pretty sure this is why some people act like jerks without impunity. They're like, well, nobody's ever punched me before, so surely today won't be the day that I get punched in the mouth. And then, some days, it is the day. So good, beautiful. I hope you learned a little something, or a few little somethings. So yes, at the police's orders, Jabba had to leave or be arrested. And naturally, she did leave. But with nowhere to go, she just kind of began to wander. A giant slug beast just wandering the planet, eating anything in its path. This shrill and hateful woman was now left with nothing but beaten and bruised and finally abandoned by everyone in her life. No friends, no home, no dignity. She had truly hit rock bottom, and even to this day, I don't feel the least bit bad for her. But this is where our story comes to an end. Is she really still out there on the streets? Did she find another man to leech off of or something? But I agree 100% with OP, whether she's in the streets or not. I don't give a single damn. You made your bed, now lie down in it. You dug your grave, now lie down in it. It's the path you chose. It's exactly what you wanted, so good. You got it. Congratulations. You played yourself. So, Epilogue, where are we now? Well, OP currently lives in Concord, North Carolina, and also teaches math for CMS, the biggest school district in the state, at one of the roughest schools in the city. It wasn't my first goal to become a teacher, but as I got tired of seeing black and brown boys underserved in these schools, I knew it was time to act. I'm currently in a relationship with a woman named Emma, and I love her to pieces. Also, obsessed with the stock market. Hey bro, let's talk crypto sometime. Stock market's cool and all, but I'm looking for those stupid gains, you know what I'm saying? Ed graduated from college around the same time that I did, but decided to go right to his master's. That amazing coding I spoke about turned into a full ride and a teacher's assistant position at Ohio State University. He currently plans on becoming a college professor after he finishes up his master's in the spring, hopefully. He and Leia are currently engaged to be married, and I'm hopefully going to be able to go back and attend their wedding. Yeah, hopefully, because work obligations. Ed really settled with the first one that treated him right? Oh man. It's hard for me to believe, but I guess sometimes it does work out that way. Statistically, it has to work out that way sometimes, right? I just hope Ed doesn't feel like he's missing something from his life down the road. I'd encourage tasting a few more flavors if you know what I'm saying, but it's your life, bro. You can do what you want. James currently owns his own semi-truck and is on his way to scaling it into his own business. He still lives in his grandmother's old house with Bolt and his new girlfriend, Mary, whom he met while playing Magic. He is also now divorced from Jabba, which happened in November of 2019, and he has never looked back. And he shouldn't. Does he even know where she is? See her behind the laundromat sometimes? You're like, hey, what's up? I don't even have to come here no more because I got a washing machine. I just wanted to see how you're doing. I mean, that's pretty spiteful. After so long, just move on from your ex. Let him do whatever. You know, it doesn't actually matter. My wife creeps on my exes more than I creep on them. Haven't checked up on them in years, and my wife's like, hey, what's her name again? It's funny shit. Jabba ended up getting arrested for prostitution. Uh-oh. You heard me right. She apparently had been sucking wangs for money for about 3 years and finally got caught. Now, I believe prostitution should be legal, but can't we just sit back and enjoy someone horrible getting all that they deserve? Last time I was in my hometown, she managed to get a job at the local Motel 6, and she stays there as well. And this was because her pastor took pity on her and put out the word for her to get this job. But it was after about 6 months of being homeless and almost going to jail. She is also starting to lose her teeth, which tends to happen if you live on the street for long enough, yes. I'm also not going to comment too heavily on what OP believes about prostitution, but I will just say I live in the Philippines and I have seen the ravages of the sex tourism industry. It's not a pretty thing, so I'm pretty torn on that topic. Is it a victimless crime? Sorta, sometimes maybe. Like most issues in this life, it is neither completely black nor completely white. Very, very gray area that I ain't gonna get into. So Grandma, sadly in 2021, lost the battle to COVID-19. Aw, crap. Why we always gotta lose the best ones? Grandma was so proud of Ed for all that he accomplished and loved him to death. She was even there when he proposed to Leia. I know she still watches over all of us from heaven and that she's reunited with Grandpa up there. During her funeral, Jabba, of course, tried to show up and gain all the pity points that she could, but no one was having it. In her will, she left a few of us some things. James was to get the house, as in her own words, she didn't trust Jabba to take care of the house. Good call. Ed and Jabba were to receive a 90-10 split with Ed, getting the 90% of the sale price of her entire portfolio. This totaled to about $125,000, which Ed then used to purchase a house for him and Leia to start their lives together in. Even though it was about $12,000 that Jabba managed to get, she still managed to blow all of it on liquor and food and the lottery. Oh, God. Why? You could create such a better situation for yourself, and you freaking drank it. Oh, God, Jabba. Just hopeless. Yeah, she's a write-off, man. Let's hope that cirrhosis takes her sooner rather than later. Jabba was convinced that
she would win the lottery and be richer than all of us.
Obviously, that didn't happen. Yeah, the lottery is just a tax on stupid people. People who don't understand how numbers work. Is it possible to win? I'm sure it is, but you're much more likely to get struck by lightning 2 or 3 times, according to some statistics that I saw. It's just ridiculous. I let wifey play, for fun, because we're doing well and stuff. It's nice to dream, and really you do never know. I might have the biggest shock of my life one day, but if you're on the ropes, struggling to get by, do not buy scratchers or lottery tickets or any of this crap. The house always wins. But, I'm sure my audience is smart enough to know that. And Jabba, I don't think she has YouTube. we get on that Motel 6 internet connection. Sucker! And this, my dear friends, is the complete story of how I changed my current best friend from a stinky neckbeard to an overall amazing person. As I said before, the part about them getting back to dating is still up in the air, but as I recounted it, I concluded that there was no realistic way that anybody would believe it was real. I don't know, I'm pretty gullible, I guess. I can still post it if you guys want, because it is honestly quite the tale, or I could get into some other things that happened to me while working at a GameStop, or maybe even share some cringe stories from my own past. But leave a comment below and tell me what you would like to hear. Until next time we meet, readers. It is an overall very wholesome story. I'm so glad that both Ed and James were able to get saved. Goodness, although it wasn't just by the grace of OP that all of this happened. I want to be very clear that it is what is inside of Ed and James, the need to strive for something better that allowed them to change. And the truth is, a lot of neckbeards or legbeards don't have that. We see a very good example of that in this saga with Jabba. She simply can't get rid of her own vices for long enough to lift herself up out of this hole. Which is sad, but at the end of the day, no sympathy. Like I said, this is exactly the path you chose. I do feel a bit bad about Jabba being not allowed any pity at her own mother's funeral, but pity would be wasted on her, honestly. She would squander it 100%, and that is absolutely unacceptable. So yes, I did enjoy this beard story. It didn't go to the dark places that we've seen some of them go. We just got a happy ending out of the whole thing. Everybody got a girlfriend, everybody got a house. Hey, we're all getting laid. It's pretty cool, all things considered. It's also pretty cool that OP ended up in North Carolina. Hey, I went to A school at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Just kind of another little line that connects us all together, which I always enjoy following. But yeah, this story made me quite happy overall. It was good to wash away the cringe of some of the previous days' tales, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share the video around if you should like. That is the biggest brain play. We've also got all kinds of links in the description and also in the comments now. Those include my plugs and playlists and podcasts, you know, Teespring if you're trying to rock that merch, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. We got a new episode coming today or tomorrow, or again, I haven't quite figured out the upload schedule, but it is coming, I promise. We've also got my Amazon affiliate link. It leads to my microphone, but if you're trying to buy something on Amazon and you go through that link, I get kicked back like a fraction of the purchase cost, which is pretty sweet, all things considered. A little way to pad my income just a tad. We've also got my social medias down there, of course. Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Hey, come on through. Say hello. I would appreciate it. We've also got my Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I would like to thank them as I do every episode. So thank you. Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Jarhead Jerry, Oorah, Logan Wolf, River Jerry, Conrad Ingy, live from a ReddX Industries Secure Hospital Complex, it's COVID Sicky Jerry. Wish him luck, guys, gals, and NB pals. Holy crap, good luck, dude. Danny Jerry Nerdnick, you can make it. I know it. Stay strong for us, man. Captain Clown Jerry, honk honk. We're going to need to send him to the COVID Sicky Jerry, the Secure Hospital Complex. Just to cheer him up, you know. Aaron W, Twisted Child, Saruano Ash, Cinema Susie, For Auld Lang Syne, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, hee hee, Irary, Yignisigurigin, if the diffid, to some there. It's something like that. Jari the Pirate, Silent Revolver, the original Jerry, Jerry's Kitsune, Matthew Simmons, Satori, 211 Jerry, The Return of Jerry, a Justy Jargonian Jerry, Alunia, Althea, Anunnaki, Assassin Punk Jerry, Bang Bang, Atheist Jerry, he's so euphoric, Aurora Wildheart, Grizzly, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Billy Mays here, I've come with the power of OxyClean to fight the nasty neckbeards. Rip Billy Mays, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blame Miss Fish, Blip Blip Jerry, Blue Dubs, welcome to the fold, Commander J Tank, Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Emergent Jewel, the Jewel, it's emerging, Aaron Lennox, Frozen Over Studio, Fusky, Anti-Jerry Coalition, #free, you get out of here and you never come back. Nah, that's cool, we all free around here, free to be the Jerry that we want to be. Read between the lines. Gypsy! Adrian BR. Have a minty new year, Jerry's. I'm Slim Jerry. Yes, I'm the real Jerry. All you other Slim Jerry's are just imitating. And the real ReddX, please stand up or something. Irish pirate, top of the morning to ya. Itchy nuts, just scratching, bro. A pimp named J. Crisp. Yes, you have to say the whole thing. J.M. Coon, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry Blacktail, a Jerry Bowberry, Banana Fender for Fairy, a Fee Fi Mary, a Jerry. Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, the duality of man. Jerry the small Jerry than the other Jerrys. Jerry the outlaw mother trucker, honk honk. John Hero, John Jerry Jingleheimer Schmidt. Hey, that's my name too. Simpoofa, because if you're poofing, it's free. KJ, you kajow. Crewhee, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, leader of the Thunder Jerrys. Lady Dix, Jackets Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mr. Carrot 797, Mikola Demikiev, Natari, Nightmare Jerry. Oh no, Gabby Jerry Steve, watch out. Patron Saint of Chicken Nuggies, Saint Jerry, Roman. Phantom of the Pies, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Professor Tom Moriarty, Ramtide Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Saucy Octopus, Silo Imp, welcome to the fold, my friend, Slender Jerry at the 8 pages, Staples, aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Teddy the Police, Tensa Monster, Tom, but it's the Jerry on the inside that counts, Church, Treeberg, Viking Jerry, we changed the lock on the attic and felt Marble Jerry had chewed through the asbestos and escaped everyone, be safe out there. Yeah, you'll be safe too, Baba Jerry. Chewing on asbestos. What are you doing, silly? What does the beard say? Well, Max, y'all heard about Mr. Jerry? He stole the attic door key and put it in a used waifu pillow. The storyline continues. We got Comrade Mooney Kira, Euro Wizard Jerry, Redwind Goose says honk, Naga Viper, Side Jerry the Cyborg, Saint's Blessing, 2 inches of real alpha male. A normal Jerry. You should add a cat going to the attic, Marble Jerry. You won't fit, but I can give you food and wash water. That's so thoughtful. Hunter of Jerry's, Devourer of all things tasty. It is Tom, Admiral T-Tank, Alunia, Amara, Atomic Jerryzilla, AZ, Babsy Coon, Banished Knight, Barbushka's Irradiated Jam, Broken Spine, Horseradish, the original different Jerry, that's Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Locked, Chris Meska, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, Corporal Admiral Furry Warrior, Woo Jerry, Crip Titties, Cuban Jerry, Defon Jerry, Dopamine Dangerous, yeah, we got an OD. Electrical Fennec, Ghost of Alpha, Heeknot, HMT Mayor, Holy Berry Jerry, Hydra Jerry, and Jeffrey, my name is Jeffrey, Gerald of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Werebeard Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry Aldo Rivera, you check out that mustache, Jerry Bean, yum, Jerry Roxas, yay, Jerry says I got a new engine, hey, get on the road again, I'm proud of you, boy, Jerry role-playing game, featuring the BBEG, Tom the Undying. Yes, but does he steal melons? It's a Linkbeard reference. Judge Jerry and Executioner. Kid Marvelous. Oh, Dude Perfect. King Tom. Smasher of Jerry Zillas. Kitsy Kid. Life of a Guardian. Little Ann Woods. Lucia Lovecraft. Machia CD. Machia CD. CD's nuts. Oh, I did it again. Maybe next time. Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gift, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, One Leg Jerry, he's working at IHOP. Proud of you, you soldier of industry. Organic Cam, Ghosty, Raptor Art, she's my Jerry Pie, Sheep Steve, Smitty, Warren Jagerman Johnson, Snary, and that's Snob Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy Scary Jerry Ton is relevant all year round, apparently. I take you at your word. Steampunk Ellie, the gaslighting Terry, you must really be out of it. You put that money in the freezer, Red. Are you sure? Then where are my car keys? The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, not to Infinite Jerry and beyond. Definitely. Tuna Fish Jerry, help, a bit of worm shaped like a J, and now I'm stuck in a dark prayer place that smells like low quality mayo. Yet another imaginative iteration of Jerry. Tom promise, Jerry swears, oh no bad Jerry, Tom Bugle Boy, swears just facts, soy size. Go look it up, and by it, I mean another ReddX video. And also thank you to my $1 patrons. Beautiful. Whoo, as always, thank you guys so much for supporting on the Patreon. It does mean the world to me. I hope some other people will consider supporting over there, but if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like,
watching some more ReddX videos.
Yeah, good idea, Java. And of course, always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.